Welcome back to Your Average Witch, where we talk about witch life, witch stories, and sometimes a little witchcraft. This week is going to be a little different for two reasons. One, I went to a 4-day transformational retreat called Anahata's Purpose, where I had a life-changing experience, and I got to talk to several witches about their own experience there. The second difference is that this episode is actually sponsored. I was lucky enough to be able to work with a company called Truly Divine. They gave me 2 of their reports, the Natal chart and the monthly astrological report. And the Natal chart is actually 2 for the price of 1, as it includes both a natal astrology chart and a numerology chart. I asked my friend Theresa Marisa to help me talk about the reports I got. From their website, trulydivine.com, their mission is to deliver clarity into your life, relationships, and overall direction. By developing insight and self-understanding, you will find that it's much easier to discover solutions for the problems and traumas that repeatedly challenge you. After you hear about how much info I got on my report, you should definitely head over to trulydivine.com and get your own. Before we get into the interviews, I figure I'll share my experience at Anahata's Purpose. And I know I've talked about mental health before and my diagnosis of obsessive-compulsive disorder. And one way my disorder presents is that I have to control everything. If we're going out to dinner somewhere new, then I have to look up the restaurant, find out where it is, how long it takes to get there, figure out where we're going to park, look at the menu, pick out what I'm going to eat, practice how I'm going to order it. And I usually do this like 1 to 2 days before we go, at least 1 to 2 days before we go. I am able to leave my house regularly and go to the gym or the grocery store because my husband has taken me there before, and then he went with me when I drove, and I have GPS, and that makes me feel more secure, so I'm not going to get lost. And I gradually learn sort of different routes so I can escape if I need to. And what am I escaping? Who knows? Whatever my brain decides to tell me is going to kill me that day. Anyway, going on a trip alone to a place I've never been, where I don't know anybody really, and I have to get on a plane by myself and go through TSA by myself and hopefully trust the people that say they're going to get me to and from the airport. It's terrifying, but I really wanted to meet these people. And as I tell myself frequently, I used to be in the army, and I used to jump out of planes, and I used to shoot guns, and I can go stay at a camping trip in a cabin with a bed and electricity and running water and a bathroom and a shower. I can do this. I'm an adult. Still, I was really in my head about it, and I didn't sleep well for about a week before. When I got there, I was so anxious that I actually made myself sick for the first day and a half. This turned out to be a good thing because it forced me to interact with my bunkmates and the people at Anahata's Purpose. I posted in our little group, hey, does anybody have any medicine? Because my stomach's really upset. I'm being polite because that's not what I said. My stomach's upset. And they came through. Lots of people said, hey, yeah, I got you. Lots of them. At least 3 people in my cabin alone. It was not just my cabin mates who were this friendly, though. Everyone there was great. The staff was super helpful, super friendly, always smiling, always willing to help. No matter what weird question I have. I don't remember offhand what I asked, but I know they weren't all normal questions. The beans were wonderful. If you don't know, I don't know how you found this podcast because basically all my listeners are beans. If you're not, welcome. Beans are the fans of the Witch Bitch Amateur Hour podcast. You can find out about why they're called beans by listening to the Witch Bitch Amateur Hour. You got to start at the beginning. The festival goers were also great. The people who were there for the music, they were great too. The people who weren't beans were wonderful. Everyone at Anahata's Purpose was super kind and helpful and nice. Then we get to the river. I have not been in water, wild water, which is water that is not a pool, in maybe 2 decades. I went to the beach briefly for like a day trip with my husband at some point in the past 20 years. But I have not really been in the water for a long time. And I grew up in the water, in creeks, fooling around, flipping rocks, looking for crawdads. I grew up in the water. And I miss it. So when I walked down to the river and I saw the river, I immediately burst into tears. I then proceeded to go walk into the river. Thank God I was wearing tacos. And it told me, hey, you got some shit you need to work out. You better come in here. So the next day, that's what I did. I put on my bathing suit and I walked down to the river and I sat down in the rapids and I let it wash all this crap out of me. And I stayed in the river all day and cried. And it worked. I then got up and I went back to my cabin. I think I took a shower. At some point, I took a shower. And then I went out to the bonfire, which was in our little cabin area. This bonfire turned out to be a bean fire. And it was my favorite thing that happened the entire time I was there. And it was magical. And I looked out and I saw everybody's faces. Everybody was sharing. We were beautiful. People brought things to share. I think Jenny and her sister, those were my cabin mates. And my camp mom, Amberleigh, brought stuff to make s'mores. I believe it was Allie who brought glow sticks. Lera and Summer were doing long exposure photography because someone brought sparklers and it turned out amazing. People were singing. We actually did a great rendition of Bohemian Rhapsody, which will live in the minds of the beans forever. I love you, Charlye. I'm sorry that I gave you the tasty cake. Debra even brought face paints from Alaska and was painting people's faces. It was beautiful. We were beautiful. Beans, I love you. Now let's get into the beans themselves. I basically live on the internet. I don't leave my house very often. I don't socialize. Since moving here 2 years ago, COVID happened, and now I basically just stay in my house and talk to people on the internet. But before COVID happened, I did socialize, and one of the things I experienced is the dichotomy of people on the internet where you think, hey, these are my people. I know them. I get along with them. This is great. I'm going to go meet them in person. And then you go there in person and they're not like that. They're not who they presented themselves to be. Now, when I am on the internet, my favorite place to go is the Witch Bitch Amateur Hour podcast coven, where the beans live. Because they are kind and welcoming and good-hearted and open, willing to discuss things without judging. They're just great. And I thought, people are not like this. They're not going to be like this in real life, so you have to be on guard. But I was wrong. We really are like this. Beans really are that great. And those 2 nights around the fire were my favorite part because of the beans. Now, if you go on the Anahata's Purpose website, you're not going to see anything about beans or campfires. You will see stuff about classes, though, and there were a ton. I just didn't go to any because I was not in the right mental space for it. But as you will hear in the interviews, there are a lot of classes. There's a lot of stuff to learn. There are classes on tinctures, herbs, oils, archery, drumming, belly dance, shadow work, sound baths, art, tons more. The lodging was great. Like I said, it's a cabin with bunk beds. There was also a lodge that has air conditioning. There's camping options if you want to rough it a little bit. Everybody has access to an actual toilet and showers. Even the food was good. When I was talking to Rachel, the founder, she told me, yeah, everybody said the food was great. And I thought, well, everybody always says that because you're running it and they're not going to tell you it sucks. But it is great. It was great. The food was great. There was food for vegans. There was food for vegetarians. There was food for omnivores. There was food for everybody. It was great. And it was really healthy. Everybody I'm talking to now keeps saying that food felt so nourishing and healthy. And they're right. It did. The hummus pita that I had, I think it was Saturday, that thing was amazing. Okay? It was great. And I wish I had more of it right now. Now, the classes were great, the lodging was pleasant, the river was amazing, but the real thing that stayed with me and the reason I'm coming back next year, and everybody else feels this way too, as you will hear, was the community. If you're listening to this, you really can find your people. And since you are listening to a witch podcast, I bet your people are at Anahata's Purpose. And I hope to meet you there next year. If I am in the river crying, just come sit next to me and cry along with, especially if you're bringing tasty cakes. Now let's get to the stories. Hi, Rachel. Thanks for talking to me.
Thank you for talking to me.
Would you please introduce yourself?
Yes.
And then tell people why you came to Anahata's Purpose.
Yeah, my name is Rachel Matan, and I came here because I created it.
That fancy.
Yeah. I was like, that's a cool thing to say about this right now. Yeah, because it's been a manifestation in the process, and it's been a collaborative experience with many fantastic people, and I got to be here to hold it down with my team, and also to experience a community and things that I want that I felt hasn't really been there.
I appreciate it.
Thanks. I appreciate you and my fancy necklace.
What's been your favorite thing so far?
I got to do a class. I mean, obviously the podcast. Podcast was great. Hanging out with all the Witch Pajamature Hour beings has been phenomenal. I don't know if you were down there with the candle sigil working. But were you there for me to cry? You saw me cry?
No, but I got to hold your candle and wish things for you.
I appreciate that so much. I cried when I got the candle, too.
I know.
I've just been crying.
Me too.
It's you guys that have been making me cry.
Me too.
Wait, what was the question?
Your favorite part.
My favorite part, yeah. So
this year, because you do it. It's yours. It's your baby.
Yeah, this is the fourth one. I loved having, I mean, really, yeah, my favorite part was having the community here, the witch community here. My favorite class was Hermetic Kabbalah because I wanted that class here for myself. I made Joe come here for me. But I think my favorite moment was really just a few hours ago when we were down at the dock. I was sitting there with our community who's flown in from all over the country, which is wild, blows my mind. And just, we were doing a meetup and having all the witches around. And I got all these candles for our meetup by the river or by the dock and the lake. And I just wanted to express my gratitude because even being somebody who's in the quote unquote wellness community, there's still, I feel, there isn't the most authentic witch community all the time. It's become an aesthetic. It's been a TikTok thing. We're doing it for the gram. And it just really meant so much because that's kind of what I've been trying to do here. We wanted everyone to come last year, but then pandemic happened. So it finally being able to manifest and happen. A bean flew from Alaska to Pennsylvania. A bean drove from California.
Oh, I
drove to come here.
Oh my God.
I know. It's wild. But just being able to sit there and have a moment where I could feel comfortable being me around other people who are also comfortable being them and could see each other for who they are. And, there's so many great communities here. Fantastic communities here, right? We have the dance community here. We have the art community here. We have the music community here. But it's really, really hard to find people that are if I sit there, if I tell people that I have the Kabbalion in my bag right now, that I use the Thoth deck, that I like Golden Dawn, everyone's just wait, you're a Jewish witch that likes Aleister Crowley? I'm no. That's not what I'm saying. He's a crazy anti-Semitic crackhead. And I know that, but there's still something there. I can appreciate his art. I can be into all this stuff. And people don't get it. People don't get it. And it's really hard, to, like, I'm also a Reiki master, right? I know, weird. That was a funny look you gave me. I'm letting everybody know.
I'm surprised.
And,
That's interesting.
All right, yeah. And
I'm interested in Reiki. That was a perk up.
Yeah. Oh, cool. It is cool. But it's such a different style of thing. I mean, it's called Anahata's purpose, so it's the heart chakra, So of course I'm into that. But I don't know.
That's why I'm crying all the time.
Because it's your heart.
Jesus Christ.
Mm-hmm. You're supposed to cry, but it's a good cry.
This much?
Yes. When's the last time you cried this much?
Oh my God. Not?
Yeah.
Ever?
Yeah, it probably feels good. I know you probably miss your bed.
I really do.
I know you do. I miss my bed too. But I don't know. I feel like a lot of people in our community, like, we don't fully fit into the yoga community. We don't fully fit into the Reiki community. We don't fully fit into the crystal community. We don't, we're all so different and unique. And it's also so beautiful to just be in a place where everyone is just appreciated and they get it and accept it. And I can literally sit there and talk about some wild shit. And someone's like, cool. And I don't even feel the judgment. It's not even so much about the look. I know there's people that, like, you can see it on their faces. But I know there's people that I haven't even been around, or that I've been around, who haven't made a face, but I could feel, like, they kind of step away a little bit. And that could also be my projection. Who knows? But I don't know. It was really important to me to have this. And this has been an amazing experience. And I feel like that was what I've been working all these years to create, was that moment down there. And sorry, I'm making you cry because
Yes.
I'm crying. I do. I feel like that was it. Like, I feel like I peaked a few hours ago. And I'm not on shrooms or anything.
Mine was last night.
Nice.
How are you going to incorporate all this into your practice?
I'm going to start doing mini retreats. So this will be the big one every year. And I don't know if you know, like, much of the background, like, where kind of idea came from. You ever heard of Omega Institute?
Vaguely.
In Rhinebeck, New York?
I've heard the word.
It's a great place. It's a, like, big retreat center, but it's very expensive. It's very expensive to go to. And I feel like all this stuff should be accessible to everybody. So for me, creating this was a way to, you come and do 2 classes and you've paid for your ticket. The Wim Hof class, to go do that by itself, is like almost $200. That's camping for the weekend. You know what I mean? And so the idea is to do the big one, $350 max. $350 max. And then whatever classes are the more important classes, like, well, not important classes, but whatever classes get the most action, focusing on doing weekend retreats that are covering those topics for people. So for me, I guess my practice is to continue building this. I feel like I just got a huge boost of inspiration. And it's honestly, what I was saying, like, I brought the Hermetic Kabbalah class, and it's because of me, but now we're already scheming on our retreat weekend because people don't know about that stuff. We have all the tarot classes. Like, Colleen is so amazing. She has 3 different tarot classes.
Everybody's been talking about it.
She's phenomenal.
That and the shadow work, which
maybe
next year I'll do that, but I'm not here for that right now.
Everyone's been crying about confronting the shadow. I didn't even get to do it.
It was a very good idea to have the shadow work right before the sound.
Yes. Yeah.
And I just think they should all stay here and do that.
Yes, for sure. Yeah, just cry. It's good to cry. I hope everyone cried this weekend. I mean, if they haven't yet, they still have time.
I cried enough for several people.
Good. I'm glad. That makes me so happy. The first time I cried was with the beans, with all of us together. So yeah, that's how I'm going to incorporate my practices. I'm going to let it drive me to keep letting other people feel the way that I just felt.
Why should people come here?
to cry. They should definitely come here to cry. They should.
I'm just gonna save up all my emotions for the year and only
And just
have
let
them
it all
here.
out.
I'm
Yeah.
just gonna go in the river and
Yeah.
cry for a full day, get real sick about it, and then the last 2 days is when I actually do things.
It's perfect. It's perfect.
Ta-da!
I have to go to my cry retreat.
And maybe I'll do some drumming at the end.
Yeah. Did you get to do the rhythmometrics? The drumming?
I really want to.
I think we're going to
because-
add
oh
another
my
one tomorrow. I think we're adding another one tomorrow. Don't worry. He's not going yet. He's great. What was the question? No, I'm just kidding. It was
I
why
don't
should
know,
people
I have to
why should people come
remember
here?
that traveling around in my mind.
Yeah. Yeah, people should come here if they want to cry. That's right. You know, I hope that if there's anybody out there that feels like they need a community, I hope that they can come here for that. They can come here for a non-alcohol event.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's...
I forgot about that.
I know.
That's been really nice.
It is very nice. And I feel like... And I got nothing against whatever you want to do. Live your best life. But it really does make a difference. I had somebody that I was working on this with in prior years. Last year I did it by myself. And before the person who I was doing it with backed out, they really wanted a lot of, like, they wanted more of the festival scene. And I was really hell-bent on, like, the retreat scene because that's, like, my family, like, my aunt's a medium, all that stuff. Like, I got my first deck when I was kind of young. I was very lucky because I grew up in a very spiritual family where everything was acceptable because my aunt was seeing shit since she was, like, 2. You know, so it was a lot cool. It was very cool. But so I wanted to be more retreat-like, and they wanted to be more festival-like. And I've been wanting to do no alcohol for a while. So
That's part of the reason I'm here, because I have my own triggers and issues,
Yeah.
and I couldn't be there.
anytime I've ever had a problem with anybody at any of these things, it's because they've been drunk. It's not because of anything else. It's not if they were high, if they were tripping, whatever. None of that has ever caused a problem. The only thing that causes a problem is alcohol. Why the fuck do you think they call it spirits? For real, for real. Though there is one trick that I will definitely let you know. If you ever know that you're going to go out drinking. You know how, like, that
don't
point
drink.
when you're out drinking?
Not anymore.
You don't need to. No, I don't drink anymore either. I guess I'll let the people know.
Oh.
If you ever, like, there's a magic trick here. So if you know that you're going out drinking and you don't want to, like, lose control, you rim your entire eye with black eyeliner to kind of keep the spirits out, and it fucking works. It works. Because there's times where, like, years ago, I remember I learned this, and it was from the coal liner, like Egyptian-style coal liner, like the actual point that you use on the inside. And I remember someone said it, and I did it, and I remember, like, I didn't really eat that much that day, and then my friend was like, come out to the bar, and I was like, all right, and I, like, had a few beers, and I was, like, it was good. Yeah. Magic. But also, like, it's nice to be somewhere where no one's drinking.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's also, like, that.
I feel safer.
Yes, exactly. And how are you going to experience these things? How are you going to cry if you know a bunch of people are, like, drunk and stuff? You know what I mean? Because that's when people step over boundaries and do inappropriate stuff is when they're drunk. Yeah, no, I haven't drank for, like, almost 2 years now. Because I just kind of, I don't know, I bet it's kind of like, I start working on things and changing it myself, and then I push it out onto other people through this retreat.
Good.
Yeah, I'm like, I haven't drank in 2 years, and it feels really great. You should.
You're all gonna do that too.
Yeah. Well, what's crazy is there's a lot of people that have been saying, like, it's actually really nice to be somewhere where there's no alcohol.
Hello.
I know, but that's the thing. Like,
It's so ingrained that nobody even thinks of it.
Exactly. No one even understands how, like, how it's just, I don't know, bringing us down. Why do you think it's advertised everywhere? You know?
Well, thanks for talking to me.
Thank you for coming. Thank you for being here. Thank you for my beautiful necklace. So many compliments on it. But I'm so grateful that you came and were a part of this. And I know so many people were excited to meet you too.
That's It's real weird.
I agree. Because people were excited to meet me too. And I was like, okay.
Why?
Yeah, I'm like, I'm nobody.
Exactly.
Yeah. Like, I was like, thank you. I'm like, no, thank you. Like, everyone that's here is what makes this. I just do pre-work. No, I can't even, I don't know how to put it into words how grateful I am. I don't know if I'll ever even find them. I don't. This
Just
is really
journal
great.
it.
All right, I'll journal it and then I'll like burn it or something.
Yes.
Maybe I'll burn it tonight. The
Put
fire
it on.
show. We have a fire show tonight.
Sassafras. What did she freaking do her thing about?
Sycamore tree.
Just doing us some sycamore.
Some sycamore, and then the
tonight, and then put it in the fire.
Well, what's funny is the flower that Charlie did was
Julie.
The Julie. I just purchased a house not too long ago, and I have a ton of it, and I haven't been able to figure out what this flower is. It's the same flower because I get all the hummingbirds from it.
I'm super, super, super allergic to poison ivy, so I was like, this is jewelweed, and it's used for poison ivy, so be careful because they lived together when we were walking.
Oh. Yeah. Don't. Well, it's all right. We got meds. We got medical.
I always get it. I expect to have it on my face when I get home, just because if it's near me, I'm a dumbass.
You sneeze and then you're
red.
red.
No, it's just on me. And then it looks like somebody beat me up, and then I have to go to the doctor and get prednisone. I'm expecting to go to the doctor and get prednisone. Because even though I feel pretty safe right now, I'm sure when I get home it's on me because I'm a dumbass.
It's on me. I feel like it's on me.
Yeah.
I hope not.
Me too.
Yeah. Yeah, I really hope not. That would suck. But thank you. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
For making it and for talking to me. And I can't wait to interview you like big time for long.
Yeah, let's
longer.
do that. Yeah, give me like 2 weeks and we can set that up.
Okay.
Because I'm going to need like 2 weeks to recover.
Yeah.
Me too.
Hi, Amberleigh. Thank you for talking to me.
Hi, thanks for having me, Kim.
Would you please introduce yourself?
Yeah, so I am Amberleigh. I am a witch and a mother witch, and I have 3 beautiful children. My 2 daughters are also witches, and my son is an atheist. In our family, we have all flavors, so it's an interesting
amalgam.
Yes, dynamic. All those long, several syllable words.
Why did you decide to come to Anahata's Purpose?
Well, so probably like many of the folks here, I have been listening to the Waba podcast for a long time, and they talked about it last year, and I've been wanting to explore my spirituality more outside of just the solitary aspect, and so I decided that this was going to be a good opportunity to do that. And then also, this is actually the first time I have done something solely for myself in over 14 years because I'm a mother. And
good for you.
Thank you.
Yay!
Actually, I think I might get emotional, but it really means a lot to me to be able to be here and like not have to worry about my children because my husband rocks socks, but also like just to be myself by myself and not have to worry about anybody else. It's great.
Good. Yay. I'm glad for that for you.
Thank you.
I wish more people could do that.
Oh, me too.
I hope you get to do it more often.
I know. Well, my husband's very supportive, and I think that he's willing to let me do whatever makes me happy because he's got the he knows that happy wife is a happy life, so I appreciate that about him. So yeah,
when you get back, I bet you both see that you will all benefit from you being able to do this more often.
yes, I think so too. I'll be a lot happier when I get home.
Yeah,
my resting bitch face will be a little bit less intense.
Why would you recommend people come here?
Well,
that wasn't the second question.
That's okay. I can, so I would recommend that people come here because It is an opportunity to explore your spirituality with people who are like-minded, which is great because, as we all know, this community is still pretty broom-closeted. And so it's nice to go to a place where even if somebody's maybe not a witch or,
Witch curious.
yeah, witch curious, like they still appreciate everybody's perspective, which is wonderful. So it's nice to just be around like-minded people that are not judgy, because we all get that a lot, I think.
Yeah, this is the first time I've worn this shirt.
Oh my God, I love it.
Isn't it cute? It's from Pigmentology.
I love
on,
it.
Instagram. It says Science Witch for everybody listening. But I have been nervous to wear it because
Right.
I don't want to get hassled. I got shit to do. I don't have time to explain my life to everyone who wants to look at a shirt.
Absolutely. Yeah, I have my Witch Bitch Amateur Hour hoodie that I wear, and I won't wear it to like my son's lacrosse practices because I'm pretty sure people would be not pleased about it, but
I imagine.
It's just not worth the hassle.
My eyes are rolling.
I heard them, actually.
What's been your favorite thing so far? Whether it's a class or not.
So I have only taken one class. I'm confronting the shadow, which was super, super intense. And I'm glad I did it because it was a good start. But I think what I've loved the most is meeting people. I've met a couple other beings, including you, that it's just
Thanks for giving me a ride from the air.
Absolutely, absolutely. It could have been so weird, but it wasn't at all. It was awesome. But yeah, just meeting people has been really super cool. So I'm excited to go home with some new friends.
Are you going to the show this afternoon?
Oh, of course. Absolutely. We wouldn't miss it. Actually, my whole family's like, are they doing it live? We can listen to you. I'm like, no.
Oh, wouldn't that be fun?
I know, it would be so cute.
Hey, well, thank you for talking to me about it.
Well, thank you for bringing me on. It was exciting and fun.
Yay. I'll see you later.
Yes.
Hi, Kyyles. Thank you for talking to me. Mm-hmm. Please introduce yourself.
I'm Kyyles, and now I have an Instagram at the Yo-Yo Princess, where if you want to do like virtual chats with various like princesses or characters, or if you have like a little one, probably more of the little ones, we can work something out. Yeah.
Please tell everyone why you came to Anahata's Purpose.
So I came because I am trying to follow more of the don't talk about it, be about it. I want to stop talking and thinking about things and just freaking doing them. Like, I just want to take action. So I'm trying to just kind of dive in head first if there's something I want to do. And honestly, the pandemic has been very hard. And so I am seeking connection and community, which is, just a nice way of saying that, like, I'm lonely and I want friends.
I relate to that real hard.
Yeah. I've been working from home for a year and a half. All my family lives out of state. Mm-hmm. And so the only human I see is my partner, who is the Grinch. He gets home from work and he just wants to be alone. So yeah, I'm just like, I just want to be around people. And
I don't relate to that part.
But yeah, I'm an introvert who's been living in isolation. So yeah.
What would you say is your favorite thing that you've gotten to be involved in since you've gotten here?
This morning was actually really cool. I went to the women's circle, and I don't know what happened, but like basically 6 of us showed up and did our own impromptu women's circle because we were like, we're all here to do this. So coincidentally, another being had already hosted a few, and so she kind of had a good idea of how to get us started.
We're so great.
Yeah, and
I'm filled with that so much today.
Yeah. It was really, I thought it was really powerful, and I got the feeling that the people who needed to be there were able to be there, and so, you know, I still feel like I kind of held back a little bit because I'm a good Midwestern, raised Southern Baptist, repressed person, so
Me too, except for the Midwestern part.
So, you know, I think it was a good way for me to dip my toes in, you know, opening up. So, yeah, it was pretty beautiful. The weather was perfect. It's a total lyrical experience. So,
yeah, it's really nice today. It is. Why would you recommend other people come here?
So far, if you like nature, if you like learning things, if you like just having new experiences, so far, those are like my top 3, you know. It's also just like an experience so far where you can push yourself. And so I can recommend that if you want to just push yourself to get out of your comfort zone. That's a pretty solid suggestion.
It seems like most of the people here are, in fact, introverts.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think everybody's struggling a little bit about something.
Yeah. Well, I'm an extrovert who has like a corporate job, so I'm pushing myself in that, just like opening up and, you know, like just kind of chilling out and resting and stopping. So that's kind of pushing myself. Not being super punctual, like, like so far, I'm just, you know, taking it easy.
Good for you. I hate being told to do things by anyone. So I love when other people break the rules.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for answering my questions.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And I will see you later.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye. Hi, Diane.
Hi.
Thanks for talking to me, and please introduce yourself.
My name is Diane. I am a mom of 2 little witchlings because I have been a witch for my entire life. And, so, hi.
Please tell me what brought you to Anahata's purpose.
The last 18 months have been very trying, COVID aside. I've dealt with moving, divorce. My daughter had cancer.
Christ.
I had my thyroid removed, and I decided I was going to do something for me. And so I did a road trip, 14 hours to here, and taken the trip, and then 14 hours back. This is all for me. For the first time ever.
Good. That's, everybody's saying that.
I've never been on a trip by myself
Everyone's
before.
saying that.
But people need this, I think, right now. So I'm going from here to the ocean. And then I'm going to
make me cry, Jesus. What has been your favorite thing so far?
Honestly, I came here knowing no one. And everybody's been great. The classes are fun. I mean, they're fun, they're interesting. But it's the people. You sit down. Just everybody wants to talk about everything. Oh, what did you do? What did you do? Oh, I saw this. And then, to be perfectly honest, I've taken a gazillion pictures because it's gorgeous.
Mm-hmm.
Gorgeous. So, yeah.
Yay. Why would you recommend somebody else come?
Again, it's kind of a place to find things about you. So much of the time, as much as I hate to say it because I don't normally do this part, but as women, we don't. We're about our job, our families, our kids, shoot, even our pets, right? Because they're our babies too.
Mm-hmm.
And you're doing all of these things for everybody else, and your well gets a little empty. So this, coming and doing something for you and getting that reminder that it's all there and you can do it, you can recharge, has been fantastic, and I highly recommend. 10 out of 10.
Yay.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for telling me.
Mm-hmm. Nap time.
Yeah, nap time.
Give it back to you.
Well, we're not done.
I'm not done? Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Hi, Emily. Thanks for talking to me.
Hi.
Would you please introduce yourself?
Yeah, My name's Emily. I'm 23. I'm an eclectic witch. Here visiting at Anahata's Purpose.
What brought you here?
So I first heard about Anahata's Purpose from the podcast, The Witch Bitch Amateur Hour.
Yeah.
So that is a big reason I came. I wanted to meet them.
Honestly,
And-
that's the reason I came.
Yeah, it is. If it weren't for them, I wouldn't be here.
Me too.
Yeah.
Although now it's changed, but that was why I came.
Yeah. I also really was excited for the classes. I've learned so much, and there are so many. And they range from like different things to like Reiki to like shadow work, and it's so cool.
You did the shadow work one.
Yeah,
Terrified.
it was intense.
I did not. So I'm afraid of it. What's been your favorite thing so far?
So that's probably going to be the WBAH meet and greet. We all carved something into a candle, like a sigil or an intention or something, and we put it in a pile in the middle of the circle, and we
It just makes me happy to think about it.
I know, it was so much fun. Somebody mentioned too, like how powerful it was that like a group of witches standing around the candles putting that intention in. That's the first time I've ever done anything in a group like that.
Me too.
And it felt.
Mm-hmm.
I felt that.
Yeah.
So that was definitely my favorite.
The fire last night was mine.
I wasn't there.
Oh, are you coming tonight?
Yes, I am.
Yes. I hope it's tonight's is good.
I'm looking forward to it.
Me too. How are you going to incorporate what you've learned into your practice?
So I'm definitely going to take what I've learned from the shadow work. That is probably the scariest thing to sort of try to do, but probably going to be the most helpful. And also, I learned a lot in the tarot class. And I sort of have a better idea about what all the cards mean and how they reflect your life. And I'm really big into tarot, so
I should do
it was a lot of fun. And the breath work too. That helps with like anxiety and everything. So that was super helpful. So I'll probably be doing that a lot.
Why would you recommend other people come here?
So the classes, first of all, you learn so much. And there's really, I mean, you can look stuff up online if you really wanted to, but there's nothing like being in the classroom environment, and they can really teach you stuff that you can't find online. And the community too. Yes. Everyone has been so nice. I'm really shy. It's hard for me to talk to people, but everybody has made me feel so welcome. And that
makes me so happy.
Yeah.
I do feel like you're all my kids.
I feel like I've made a lot of friends here.
Good. Thank you for talking to me.
No problem. Yeah.
I'll see your hair. Just every time I see it, I love it.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Okay, thanks. And that's it for that.
Okay, awesome. Well, thank you for having me talk and stuff.
Thank you. Oh, everything's going to make me cry. Hi, Charlie. Welcome again.
Hi. Hello.
Welcome back.
Hi. It's good to be here. Thanks for having me. Good to see you again.
Oh, hey,
face to face this time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you please tell me and the folks out wherever, those people out there, please tell everyone.
Yeah, man.
So what brought you to Anahata's Purpose?
Rachel reached out to Macy and I. By the way, Witch Bitch Amateur Hour, the podcast. She reached out to us and said that she's a listener. She's a bean, and she wanted to extend an invitation to come out and do a live show. And that was actually back in 2019, I think, when they were putting the 2021 together. And we had the best of intentions. And we wanted to. And then the thing happened. You know, the thing that happened in 2020. That one singular thing that happened.
2 syllables.
And we couldn't go. And like our state, Texas, made the decision for us. But we had already been like, I don't think it's not smart. But we got to come back this year and do a live show, and it was great. And that's what brought me to Anahata's Purpose. Was that a really long answer?
What has been your favorite part?
Yeah, I think probably the live show. You know, I don't want to be like a dick and
It was
be like,
so
my
good.
thing.
It was so good.
I was so, dude. Me and Macy, we were like, Kim gave us a glowing review.
It was so good.
Thank you. But it was definitely my favorite.
Was it scripted?
No.
What the fuck?
You're blowing my ego up, dude. No, we're just, I feel like we,
chemistry is fuck.
yeah, I think that we do. I think we have, you know.
Your
allow me to
timing
brag.
was impeccable. That's why I thought it was scripted.
We're just,
How do you think you're going to use this in your practice?
let me think on that. I wasn't prepared.
Yeah, I forgot to ask her that.
It's such a deep question, man. I took one of the lucid dreaming classes last night, and it had practical tips that you can put to use in your everyday, like, practice. Actually, kind of what we're experiencing right now. The whole vibe has kind of taught me to roll with things. You know, before we got here, I had my whole schedule kind of planned out, and it's changed a few times, and then just things happen that you don't count on, and I think it's just kind of helping me let go a little bit. I think let go, release, let go. Lick on.
Let God.
Oh, God is greater than the ups and the downs.
The lucid dreaming class taught you that?
No, the whole
Oh, this whole
Anahata's
experience.
Purpose. Yeah.
Okay.
The lucid dreaming class was pretty pinpointed to.
Why would you recommend other people come here?
Why would I recommend other people come here? I think because it's going to break all of your expectations. I know the people I've talked to, there's been expectations of what they thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
And then what it ends up being. And even the same for me. Like, I thought it was going to be this, how do I phrase this? I thought it was going to be this, like, super duper, like, light and fun, like, bouncing around, you know, and it is fun, don't get me wrong, but the amount of times I have cried this week,
Very unexpected.
was not expecting that. And there's a lot of fun stuff, there's a lot of happiness and, like, great memories, I think. Like, last night we had a banging time. There was this campfire and just, I don't know, it was just a great time, but there's also a lot of shadow work going on. And even outside of the classes, I feel like just my own issues, I'm kind of confronting a lot here.
You haven't even been to one class yet.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm shadowed to fuck.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, I love the classes, but there's a lot that I've worked through on my own. I know the same for you.
Mm-hmm. Well, thanks for talking to me.
It was a wonderful time, Kim. You don't even understand.
Let's go see some mermaids.
Let's do mermaids.
Bye. Hello again, Theresa.
Hi.
Please reintroduce yourself and let people know what brought you to Anahata's Purpose.
So I am Theresa Marisa, the Eclectic Energy Witch. I came to Anahata's Purpose originally to be a part of the Bean Can, but I've actually had like a really transformative experience here this weekend. It was absolutely beautiful, filled with community and knowledge and just fun in general.
What was your favorite part?
It's a really hard question, so I'm going to do a couple of favorite parts. I really loved starting off the weekend at the Inner Child class. I feel like it really like loosened me up and like put me into a place that I felt like I can just like be and express myself throughout the weekend. So I loved that. That was a lot of fun. The podcast was so much fun. Honestly, I feel like I have not laughed or like smiled that hard in a very long time. So that was also just great because it was just another like sort of energy release. And then the confronting your shadow class, even though it was like incredibly confronting, it really put me into a place of like knowing, I guess, is like the only way I can really put it. And then I did a sound bath after to like kind of calibrate all of that stuff. So it was just the perfect recipe kind of thing. So it's definitely just been a very overwhelmingly beautiful experience. Yay.
How are you going to incorporate the stuff you've learned here into your practice?
Well, first of all, I'm just not going to hold myself back anymore, because that's something that I tend to do, is hold myself back, self-sabotage kind of thing. So just making sure that I stay in my practice every day, just doing something, whether it's journaling or yoga or meditation. And what I also really would like to do, another class that I really loved, was the lucid dreaming class. The perspective of Dr. Nick Atlas was just amazing to like. He was talking about how with lucid dreaming, like a lot of people go into their lucid dreams in order to like, I don't know, go to fly or do something like that. And his whole perspective was like, well, when you're in those lucid dreams, just follow the dream and kind of make it into a meditation. And it's kind of like another form of like shadow work. And I feel like that's kind of like the missing piece to my puzzle, because I already like lucid dream, and like, so if I could put those dreams to good use and remember them and like use them and incorporate them, then I feel like that's something that'll also like take my practice to the next level as well.
Why would you recommend other people come here who haven't been?
Community, 100%. And it's not even just the beans, you know, like the beans obviously was an absolutely beautiful and amazing community, but even outside of just the podcast, like I have met so many just open and beautiful and kind and just fun loving and free, like people I've ever met in my life, just to like be in this community of everybody that has just like this one like-mindedness. It's just so freeing and eye-opening, and it really makes you like, how do I go back to the mundane? And the answer to the question is you don't have to. You can carry the spirit with you every day, you know? It's not the same because you're not around the same people, but at least you have the memories and the energy that was created here to bring with you.
Well, thanks for talking to me.
Thank you so much, Kim. And it was so nice to finally meet you in person. And we were bunkmates, and it was a very beautiful time. So thank you. And thank you for the necklace.
Thank you for the necklace. Bye.
Bye.
Welcome back, Theresa.
Thank you so much for having me, Kim. Happy to be here.
Yay, I'm happy to have you. Now, I talked to you before, and then we actually got to meet at Anahata's Purpose, and you actually did a natal chart reading for me, which I super appreciate. You just read me to filth, burned me alive at the bean fire in front of people, which I was okay with. She didn't volunteer that. I said, sure, everybody come listen to her as she tells me about myself. I don't know why I thought that was a good idea.
Well, because of your Aries community placement, you know, you have that Aries stellium right in the 11th house. So it's like, here, let me show you everything about me. But then my sun is in the 12th house, so let me be really guarded about everything else at the same exact time. Like, you're kind of like a walking contradiction, but then like...
Great.
I mean, don't you feel that way though sometimes?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it totally makes sense. But it's amazing because, you know, the Aries gives you so much fiery passion and love and space for people. And then with your first house Gemini stellium as well, it also gives you that very life of the party vibe, while also like wanting to just like connect. And that's just, you know, genuinely who you are, especially with all the placements you have there. But let's not read you to filth again on your podcast as well. We'll
Please,
save that.
please. I don't even know all the podcast people, so
Yeah.
it's okay with Charlye and Allie. That's okay, but now the reason I asked you to come on the show again is because I actually got the opportunity to work with a company called Truly Divine. They offer natal chart readings, numerology readings, like location placement readings. It's crazy how much stuff they offer.
So interesting.
Some of the reports they offer are Chiron and asteroids analysis, relationship analysis, astrology and numerology, best places analysis, relocation analysis, and they let you pick 3 places to see if you would fit in there.
That's
Solar
pretty cool.
return. Yeah.
I want that.
And it's not that expensive. That one's only $34. It's one of the less expensive ones they offer.
Oh, wow.
Solar
Interesting.
return forecast, which I don't know what that means at all. They also sent me a monthly astrology forecast, which, to be honest, I can't fathom because it's 17 pages long. It's the shortest one I got. It's still got so much information.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of information. It's a lot of information. And
it is a lot of information
$34.
for sure.
And while I got astrology and numerology, I asked Theresa to look at the astrology one with me because she is a subject matter expert and can sort of talk to me intelligently and explain things and tell me what I'm looking at, because that one was 38 pages. And you can get both the natal chart, the astrology, and the numerology for $45 through this company, which I think is a good idea because you get so much information.
Definitely. Yeah, it is a lot of information, which I love. I think it's really cool. The thing that I would suggest the most out of all of this, which I was reading through it, and for me being an astrologer, it definitely is a lot of information, even for me. So, what I think is really cool is like how deeply in depth they go with everything. The knowledge that they have to offer is amazing. But for somebody that is new to astrology and just trying to get their feet wet, I feel like it might be a little bit overwhelming to receive all of this information at once. So something that I was thinking about was maybe like it would be really cool if they could like split it up like over like a month. Like send like since like let's say yours is like 35 pages, send it over like 7 weeks, like send 5 pages a week. That way so it's a little bit easier for people to digest. And even if you get it and you want to split it up that way for yourself, like I feel like that's also a great idea because there is so much information here that is amazing and that definitely would be great for people to learn about themselves. But to receive it all at once and not really understand the language of astrology, I can see where that could be like a little overwhelming for somebody that's new to it.
I was overwhelmed.
Yeah.
I do like that they sent me a picture of the chart because I like to look at the designs it makes. Mine
Yeah.
makes a kite. I don't know what that means.
It's beautiful. Yeah, every single chart, like they have different meanings, the different shapes to the charts. I'm not 100% familiar with all of the different shapes, but they do mean something based on the aspects and the way that like your planets connect with each other and things like that.
And that is one of the things you get with this report.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, it has all of that information in here. And what I also like about it is it gives like that little table of contents at the beginning. So if there is something that you also just want to like look at real quick, you can also just look at the table of contents. I mean, it doesn't really give you the page, but it tells you like what section things are in. So if you're looking for just something really quick to look up, it also has that as well, which is cool. I also love that they gave the longitude and latitude. Like, not that I would use that for anything, but I think that's cool. I like that.
You could put it on jewelry.
Oh, true. Very true. Get it tattooed. Do all that fun stuff.
Yeah, so if I want to look up my midheaven, like, I don't know what that means, but it sounds cool.
So your midheaven is like the mark that you leave on the world. So we did discuss that briefly when I did
Yeah.
like your chart, and you have it in Aquarius. Yeah.
I remember that you talked about it.
Yep. It's a big part. It's a big part of who you are.
Now, one thing I really liked is that it went into the elements, and you went into it some with me and told me like what percentage of fire and everything, but they go really into the percentage of fire, earth,
air. I don't think I have any water. And it
Yeah,
says you have no water in your chart.
yep, you have no water in your chart, which I thought was really interesting because I know about you that you do have a lot of emotion, but I feel like that's the fire, because fire to me is spicy water. I think that all fire signs are just spicy water signs. I'm a Leo, Sun, Aries, Moon, Sagittarius rising, so I have all fire in my big three, so I'm allowed to
Oh.
say how emotional we are. And I know that for a fact. So I feel like that's probably where a lot of your emotion comes from as well.
Now, with this report, it goes into each element and how it affects you and how you can use it to better your life. And I
Yeah,
really thought that was cool.
I agree. And I think also in with connecting back to witchcraft as well, it's really cool to know which element that you connect with the most so that you can use that in your practice too. So you can use like different elements of that element to help with like connecting to the world around you and the universe around you as well.
Yeah, and to my surprise, I've been like, oh yeah, of course I connect with Earth because I'm a Taurus. But air is my biggest. I have the most air.
You have the most air elements. Well, it's because you got that huge Gemini stellium. That's really what it is. And I know that you have some Libra placements as well, I think. Hold on, let me get your chart back out here. Yeah, so you have that Gemini stellium in the first house, and then you have some Libra placements, and then where is Aquarius? And then you have your Aquarius midheaven. So you do have like a lot of prominent placements in air. So not only do you have is that like the main number of like planets that you have in air, but also like a lot of prominent stuff for you is in air as well. I'm
Well,
scared.
speaking of all these air influences, here's something that I think is interesting. You like connecting people with people, people with ideas, and ideas with ideas. You are interested in everything and may find yourself studying many subjects at once and taking great interest and pleasure in things other people find irrelevant, which is me to a T. So they
Yeah,
did a
for
great
sure.
job hooking that up.
Absolutely. And even just reading into like everything in this packet, like I said, even though it is a lot of information, it really gives you a deep sense of who you are, which I think is absolutely amazing to just have like this is something that I would love to like cook up for somebody. I love creating like little packets like this. So it's really cool that you could get this for such a great price, especially with the numerology reading as well, because I'm super
Yeah.
interested in numbers. So I think that's really cool.
And when they're going through, like you mentioned your big three before, and they tell you what it is: the sun, your ego structure, the moon, your personal life.
Yeah, so not only are you just getting what it is, but they're also giving you a little like peek at what it actually all means. So it's just like, oh, my moon, I don't know what that means. Like they're giving you an idea of what it is and what it represents too, which I think is really great.
I love it.
Yeah.
Mars, your energy. The fact that Mars is in Gemini, does that mean my energy is every which way? Because
Well,
there's
it's
two.
yeah, well, actually your Venus and your Mars are both in Gemini, so I feel like with your Venus and Mars being in Gemini, it's totally like the balance of the masculine and the feminine. So like that's how I kind of like to look at it
Is
for
that why I'm
you.
bi?
Yes. I and like okay, so I've been doing studies on people. So this is why I love astrology, not only just because of all the information that you can gain from it, but because I'm an observer to begin with. Like I like to observe the people around me. So when I get somebody's chart and then I kind of like can observe like how they act and who they are as a person, I've noticed that people with prominent Gemini placements are usually gay or bi or trans. And I think it's because it's so much of like that duality of like just in general, like not even having to have like Mars and Venus in it, but just having prominent Gemini placements. I feel like the masculine and the feminine meet really well and dance together really well there. So like a lot of people that have that, I feel like in my experience end up having being like, like I said, gay, bi, trans, all of that kind of stuff, which I find really interesting. And I'm sure you can find in other places in the chart as well, but just through my experience, that's what I've noticed.
I love little sneaky things like that.
Yeah. Is that bad? I don't know, but it made
I
me
think it's
laugh.
cool.
Yeah.
Here are 2 things that are amazingly right on. I'm going to quote it. Whether it is a career, love, relationships, decisions, hunches, jealousy, or hatred, you do so with your whole heart.
Mhm.
And I do. Everything is the most at all times.
Right.
It's love or hate. I very rarely just sort of like something.
I feel that.
And the other one is you have a special kinship to the animal world, and I would be surprised not to see dogs and cats scattered around the property this month. There's always dogs and cats scattered around the property because I have 8.
Oh, wow. That's a lot.
It is.
But if you have a nice property for it, I guess that's good.
Okay, now, what does Lunar Return August 25th mean?
So the lunar return happens. I was just reading it. The lunar return happens like 13 times a year for people. So that's just when the moon returned back to the original place it was when you were born. So, and because you are now in Arizona, it is comparing it to that as opposed to when you were in Virginia when you were born. So that's why it says lunar return for Vale, because that's where you are now. So it's affecting you where you are now as opposed to where you were born. Because of so the way that everything moves in the sky, Arizona and Virginia are really far apart. So for them to do a transit chart on you or a monthly astrology forecast, which is what this is, for Virginia, it would be different because it's different where the sky is in Virginia versus where it is in Arizona. Does that make
Holy
sense?
crap, yes.
Yeah. So
Okay.
the reason why they did it for where you are now is because that's where it's going to affect you now because of where the placements are in the sky in Arizona versus where they are in Virginia.
Okay. Now, this astrology report goes into so much detail. Like I said, it's 37 pages.
Yeah,
It's
it
telling
really
me
does.
like Saturn is in the 4th house.
Yeah.
Saturn is focus. See if I
Yeah,
can
so
figure out what page I'm
essentially what
on.
they're doing is just telling you what the different aspects are in your chart, and by those aspects, how it's going to affect you emotionally, physically, and all of that stuff. So this is cool because I feel like it really goes like super in depth with how your chart is affecting you right now, right here, today, as opposed to like a natal chart where a natal chart can tell you like how you live your life. This is telling you kind of like how your life is affecting you day to day. Yeah,
Okay.
but this monthly astrology forecast is definitely very interesting. And if you are somebody that is into astrology and has like experience with it, I would 100% suggest getting something like this. Not only because it can help you like learn more about yourself, but I feel like it also helps you kind of just understand the different aspects and the different positioning of the planets and everything a little bit deeper, because not only does it go into the different aspects, but it goes into what houses it's in as well. So with it going into the houses, it really shows you where it's kind of tracking it a little bit more for you because all of the different houses mean different things. So like for example, we were mentioning the 12th house earlier, kind of being like the house of like secrets and mysticism and stuff. So if you have a lot of stuff happening in the 12th house, then you can understand why your emotions may be a little bit more hidden at that time. So I feel like for somebody that is really interested in astrology and deepening their knowledge on it, this kind of report would be amazing for them.
Do you know about numerology?
I actually took a class on it once, but
Oh.
I never really followed through with it just because I am super interested in numbers.
No, I have looked into numerology a tiny bit. It is the equivalent of a paragraph out of The Lord of the Rings, apparently, based on me looking at this report. I actually sort of played with coming up with a form of divination combining numerology and bibliomancy.
Oh.
This is way more than that.
Yeah, definitely. I like it. I think it's really cool because it goes not only into like daily things, but also as I scroll down to the bottom, it's like gives you information for your year next year as well.
Yeah, I
So
liked that part.
yeah, I think that's really cool. And it goes through like different age transits as well, which I think is pretty cool. So this is also another thing that gives like a ton of information. But for somebody who has also just like dipped their toe in numerology as well, it definitely is really good at explaining what it means to have your life path number being X, Y, and Z. But at the same time, it is also 38 pages as well. So I really love everything that they have to offer. I do. I think that all of their information is like super knowledgeable and very interesting and gives you a ton of information, but bite-sized pieces I think would be very beneficial because then people would actually like sit down and I mean, just in my opinion, I'm sure there's somebody that would get this and devour it in one day, but for me, I would need a lot of time to read through all of this and like really sit with it and learn who I am, which also I think it's great. This is definitely like an awesome form of shadow work for somebody to
Oh my
do
gosh.
this
Speaking
kind of
of, I'm
stuff.
sorry, do you know what I was just looking at?
What?
Karmic Lessons.
Oh,
Because they
well.
tell you your karmic lesson, the thing you're supposed to learn for your karma, is this. And mine is apparently one. I didn't even know that existed, but that's
Yeah,
in this report.
yeah. So it's definitely great for shadow work, this one and the astrology ones as well, because anything that's going to like tell you who you really are and how you act based on anything, you know what I mean? I feel like is amazing for shadow work and truly learning who you are as a person. So,
Yeah, being called out on your stuff
yep,
to you,
yep.
gosh. And that is definitely what these reports are doing to me.
Absolutely.
So I would say, especially since the natal chart and the numerology report are in one and it's only $45 and you get 7,000 pages of information,
Yeah, you definitely get a
it's a
bang
good
for your
deal.
buck. 100%.
You might have to sit down with a couple books and a website and maybe a friend who understands astrology, but you're
And a
getting your
notebook.
money's worth. Yes.
You're definitely going to want to journal on this stuff for sure. There's definitely a ton of self-reflection after reading all of this.
Well, thank you so much for talking with me and explaining it to me and letting me know what you think because I really wanted to know what someone who actually knows about astrology thought about it because I am very new and I knew you know.
Yeah, of course, no problem. I'm here for you whenever you need. I could come on and just I could do your monthly astrology forecast. I'll read it. I'll read it for you. You can just get it delivered and
Just
I'll read it for
interpret.
you. Yeah, exactly.
So everybody call Theresa Marisa for go to Truly Divine for the report and then have Theresa interpret it for you.
There you go. That's funny.
Thanks again to Theresa for helping me talk intelligently about my reports, and to Truly Divine for working with me and helping me find out more about myself and what makes me me. The paid reports are incredibly in-depth and informative with a ton of information. While they range from $34 to $45, Truly Divine also offers free master guides on subjects like gaining mental clarity, self-love, overcoming anxiety, and even a list of daily affirmations to last you an entire year. There are 365 affirmations in the booklet. They also have a ton of articles about astrology, numerology, manifestation, and abundance on subjects like how Chiron's placement in your chart can help you with shadow work, using numerology in your love life, and a list of 9 things to give up so you can manifest your heart's desire. Definitely head over to Truly Divine to check out their natal chart reports and sign up for some free master guides. And now back to the stories.
Hi, Jen. Thanks for talking to me.
Thanks for asking. I'm excited.
Please introduce yourself, and that can be just your name, or you can say if I'm a such and such witch, or socials, or anything like that, and tell people why you came to Anahata's Purpose.
Yeah, so my name is Jenny. I am more of an eclectic witch. It's really just kind of taking and grabbing from everything and anything that just feels right. So not very traditional in any sense. I am on Instagram. It's a kind of a weird handle. It's otter_snacks. Yeah. So, I actually came to Anahata's Purpose to follow, my quote-unquote coven, the Witch Bitch Amateur Hour, of course. You being one of them. I was lucky enough to room with you.
How lucky that is.
Well, and when I found this podcast, I was like in a really dark place in my life, and it kind of helped me regain my part of my world that really made me thrive and remember that I'm not living in somebody else's world, and it helped me kind of reclaim that.
Cool.
So wanted to be able to experience that in person and finally meet these people that have been such a big part of my life over the last couple of years.
Yeah.
So I, of course, know there were going to be classes and whatnot, and that would be, cherry on top. I was really excited for Rachel's, all of the activities and things that Rachel had put together. But ultimately, it was really for fellowship, I think, is ultimately why I came.
What has been your favorite part?
Oh, man. It's so hard to sum it up into just a couple of words or sentences, and I have a feeling that we don't have that much time. So what I will say is I think it's just having the people around where you do not have to have those walls up all the time, who you truly are. I think that a lot of our souls are burdened with a lot of the same things, and when you're around people like that, there's just this buzz, like a vibe, and it's impossible to really explain other than I feel like I've known you all for, way longer than we've been staying in the same cabin, and it really was probably altogether, 72 hours or something? I don't even know. I'm terrible at math.
Is that it?
It seems like it, right?
No, it seems like it was way longer than that.
It wasn't that bad of a roommate, was it? No, I'm just joking.
It just seems like we've been here like a week and a half.
I know. That's the crazy part. Like, it went by so fast, but at the same time, it feels like we've lived here, like in a commune for a while. Mm-hmm. And I actually really want to live in a commune with you all now. I'm not ready to go back to the quote-unquote real world.
Yeah, me neither.
I've become so accustomed to just having magic around all the time.
How are you going to incorporate this place and this experience into your practice?
Well, I did take a few classes, and I picked up a few things that I think will be easy takeaways to bring into like my own practice, of course. But I think just really kind of the openness that I got from those vibrations from just other people and their positivity and their experiences, I'm hoping to be able to kind of take a small jar of that and replicate it in my real everyday community, or at least attempt. And if that doesn't work, I'll just shove it down their throats.
Good.
But I think that just knowing that, my people are out there, and not to forget that, even when things seem harder.
Yeah. Why do you think people should come here next year?
I think there's a lot of different reasons. I came for the Witch Bitch Amateur Hour, right? Because that was what I knew. Mm-hmm. But I'm returning because of just this community that has formed, and I know that this is the first time that it's been at this particular camp. But it's almost as if it doesn't matter where the camp was held. It's the vibe that has been
there does have
created.
to be a river.
There does have to be a river. I fell in it yesterday. I had to go by my pants.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I ripped my pants.
Oh, no.
It was really embarrassing, but funny. And, yeah, it's gonna smell real lakey on my way home. It's going to be great. But, I mean, if you just feel like your people are out there and there is something more beyond your everyday, mundane, wake up, is it Wednesday, is it Friday, oh great, the weekend, now let's start over. There's more out there, and if you want to be able to bring a little bit of that magic, I guess, really is essentially what it is, into your everyday life, I think that coming here, it's easy to remind yourself that life is so much more than, our 9-to-5s, or how are we going to, make this commute as inconvenient as possible going to work. Things like that, there's just so much more out there, and I think that everybody needs that reminder every once in a while that, your boss is annoying you, not looking forward to that one-on-one meeting. It's such a tiny blip in what more is out there for us. And I think I needed that reminder.
Well, thanks for talking to me.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I hope some of that was usable.
Well, it's all most of it is all.
But no, I'm so grateful that I got to be able to meet you and to meet all of our friends here.
Me too.
I just, it's impossible to even put into words. It's going to be so hard to go home. And it's only been a few days.
I'll see you next year.
Yes, you will. And we're going to claim those good bunks, too.
Hell yes. Okay. Bye.
Bye.
Hi, Lera. Thanks for coming and talking to me.
Hello, Mama Kim. How's it going?
It's awesome.
You having fun?
I'm having a good time.
Good, good. I'm having a great time. I feel like that was way too radio announcery. I'm having a great time. Let me just make that sound a little bit more, I don't know, not posed.
Why did you come here?
Well, Macy and Charlye dragged me here, although it wasn't a very unwilling fight.
Okay.
In fact, I did not put up a fight at all. They told me about it, and I was like, hell yeah, I'm in.
Yay. I'm glad you came. I'm glad I get to meet you, too.
I'm glad I got to meet you as well. You've been an integral part of the Witch Bitch Amateur Hours growth and success and whimsy and Facebook group moderation. You're great at that.
Okay, that's not what we're here for. Let's move along. What has been your favorite thing so far?
Archery. I took a meditation through archery class this morning, and I had the best time. I'm someone who doesn't always
Arch.
Well, yes, or give myself any credit in like athleticism or physical movement. So I kind of surprised myself, and I loved it. And if you see me at the range during open shoot for the rest of the weekend, don't be surprised.
Yay! That's cool. Why would you recommend this experience to other people?
I think, especially nowadays, you see it more and more that people just kind of wring their hands and say, oh, I need a place to get away. I don't know where I want to go. I don't know where I want to do, but I'm just tired and I'm burned out and I want to go somewhere. And this place, Camp Inaba?
Inaba is how I was saying it in my head.
We're in Pennsylvania, just an hour away from Philly, and it's beautiful. There's a river. This is like an old summer camp building. And all you do is reconnect with your inner child and meet awesome people and take workshops that, I don't know, you'd be kind of hard-pressed to find in everyday life. I did archery this morning, and I'm going to do belly dancing this afternoon.
Me too.
Yeah, so there's just so much variety, and everyone's so nice. The food is delicious. I can't make enough recommendations if I tried. Kim, this has been a true joy.
Thanks for talking to me.
Anytime.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Hi, Jennifer.
Hey.
Thank you for talking to me. Please introduce yourself and let everybody know who you are.
So my name's Jennifer. I'm from Philly, and I'm an eclectic witch. I do have an Instagram. And I'm on and off on it, but my blog is goddessofexile.com.
Why did you come to Anahata's purpose?
So I came here to try to release anger, rage, trauma from childhood till now, trying to deconstruct everything that has messed me up and continues to mess me up even now.
What has been your favorite thing so far that you've done or participated in?
So at Anahata's, my favorite was the Windhoff, dunking yourself in ice cold water. Not even ice cold, it was just like a giant bathtub filled with ice. And I was just like, can I do this? Am I capable of doing this? And I was like, you know what? I'm going to push myself to the limit and do this crazy shit. Because if I don't do it now, I'm like, I'll never know if I can do it. Or I'm going to regret not having that experience to say like, yes, I did it.
How are you going to incorporate the things that you've learned here in your practice?
So a lot of them was interesting. So shadow work, that workshop, it was just like, okay, if you are sitting there about to judge somebody, be like, okay, let's just say, for example, I see a coworker and I'm just like, God, she's so lazy. I'm going to add at the end of it, just like me, because I'm fucking lazy too. I'm like, everybody's just a reflection in a mirror of ourselves. The things that we feel uncomfortable about other people, or like we feel like we detest or makes us angry, we have that inside ourselves, whether we realize it or not. So I'm just like, every time I be like, just like me, I'm like, this isn't a thing. It's like, it's a human. It's all psychological.
I had a serious issue on Thursday because I went down to the river for the first time and just lost my shit because I haven't been in water for years. I'm going to cry now talking about it.
Oh my God.
So I spent Thursday doing all that, crying my ass off in the river. So I have actively avoided the shadow work classes because I'm afraid. Maybe next year.
Oh my God. Now my question is, what happened with water to bring it to that?
I miss it. I live in Arizona now. And I'm from a region that looks like this and feels like this. I have a connection with it, and it's pulling, and I miss it. But I also hate humidity.
I feel that. Even when I booked my lodge, I was like, it has to have an AC. I love camping, but I was like, I love camping, but get the hell out. I'm like, I love going out, camping, experiencing it, but then when I'm about to go to the house to sleep, I want to be in a bed. I want to have AC. I want to have a fridge. I'm like,
yeah.
I'm a bit bougie sometimes.
I'm sleeping on a mat that covered in plastic.
I
don't like it. I don't like it. Why would you recommend people come here?
I would recommend people to come here just to experience either different modalities, to understand yourself better through these workshops, to understand the human experience, because we either victimize, we blame ourselves or others, and honestly, sometimes we don't even take accountability, or we don't even realize, like, hurt people. So it's like, yes, this person is hurting you, but at the same time, it's like, you got to build boundaries, but also be sympathetic and be like, you know what? Something occurred to this person to bring it to that point, and now they're trying to do this, but I'm not going to lash out. I'm going to set that barrier up. I'm going to stop, like, get away from it, and just recognize that this is personally not me. This is not a personal attack. So it's understanding the human experience without feeling like you're ruined, you're broken. It's like,
don't make me cry.
And it's like having more love for yourself. It's like, I realized that I was not giving myself love, and I was not holding myself accountable for giving away my power. There were so many situations where I'm just like, this person bullied me, but how did I allow that to happen? Like, this is my world, this is my creation, and I gave them that power. I'm like, they have just as much, if not 50% responsibility. I'm like, it's like they came in, they're one force, and then I'm another one, and I reacted. So it's like I gave them my power away. And it made me like sad because I'm just like, you know, it's also, I'm not trying to blame myself like it's my fault, but it's like acknowledging, being aware, like I did this, so how do I stop this? How do I stay in power? How do I not feel vulnerable, but be able to be vulnerable without feeling like I'm going to be destroyed or hurt or feel pain, you know?
And this helps, this place.
Yeah, this place helps.
Figure all that stuff out.
Yeah, it's like meeting these people. It's like, even when I'm meeting people, it's like sometimes I'll be on guard and I'm like, I'll smile and I'm like, is this a genuine smile? Or am I just smiling because I'm trying to do like this facade, like I'm friendly, like, yes, come. And then it clicked and I was like, all this time I'm always trying to have a connection with people, but I'm afraid that they may not like me. I'm afraid they may hurt me. So I'm just like, geez, like, I know.
Yes. Well, thanks for answering my questions.
You're welcome.
I'm glad I got to meet you.
You too. I'm so happy I met you.
Yay! Oh no!
Thank you. Sometimes you just gotta think about it. Like, these questions are so thought-provoking. It's like, why the fuck did I come here? What do I want? What was the meaning of this? I'm like, did I just want to go out there and, you know, smoke some tobacco and, you know, do the workshops? But that's not really doing the work, the inner work.
Thank you again.
You're welcome.
Hi, Allie. Thanks for talking to me.
Hi, Kim. Thanks for having me.
Would you please introduce yourself and then tell everybody why you came to Anahata's Purpose?
So I am Allie. I am a witch. I came to Anahata's to be with the beans and to feel closer to community because I don't have a very good community where I live.
And what has been your favorite thing so far?
The river. Definitely the river. I really enjoyed the shadow work class and the Akashic Records class, and I look forward to kind of using that to make myself a better human being.
Oh my gosh.
Too deep?
I came here because of the beans, and my favorite thing has been the fires.
I really did enjoy the fires too.
But it wasn't your favorite?
I'm
glad
glad
it was something useful.
So peaceful.
Yeah, that's my second fave. How do you think you'll incorporate the stuff you learned into your practice?
So I think I'll definitely be more dedicated to doing shadow work when I get home because I've kind of fallen off a lot. Pandemic's kind of taken a lot out of people, and I work in healthcare. So, like, life kind of sucks right now in my world. And I really just kind of go to work and come home and do nothing because I don't have the brain function to handle more. So I think that this has kind of given me a good reset, and hopefully I can carve out some time each day where I don't feel like I just need to fuck off when I get home.
Why would you recommend other people come here?
Beans. And, you know, the community here is really good. They have a lot of really awesome classes. And it's a really good, like, overall vibe. It's a stress-free weekend, sort of. Except when your neighbors keep you up until 2 o'clock in the morning. But it's even for the community, it's a nice place to kind of come to just reset the mind from the busyness of every day.
Yeah. And there's a river. Well, thanks for talking to me.
Thanks for having me.
I'll see you later.
Of course.
Bye.
Bye.
Hi, Tabitha. Thanks for talking to me.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Would you please introduce yourself and let people know what brought you to Anahata's Purpose?
I'm Tabitha. I am a new witch, and I came because I heard about it, and I was really excited to come check it out. It sounded like a lot of fun.
What's been your favorite part?
The energy from like as soon as you get onto the property, it was just like a whole nother world. Like when I was getting the henna done, because there was somebody doing henna, there was a woman that came up and she said it was like a whole nother world. Like nobody here was like sick or fighting. There was no like riot or like, it was just everybody was just kind of here and together and non-judgmental and just kind of one. I don't know. It's just, that was the best way to describe it. It's just the energy, honestly. That's my favorite part.
How do you think you'll incorporate the things you've learned and experienced into your practice?
Well, I did some unintentional shadow work yesterday, so I'm probably going to have to expand on that. But
yep, I know that life.
That was not expected. But yeah, I guess
I'm crying. Well, I did a lot of it.
I willingly like shoved it down. I was like, I am not crying. I don't know these people. I'm not crying. But yeah, so I have to expand on the shadow work a little bit. It kind of raised some flags for me that I got to work on. So I'm definitely going to work on that. And then I guess just try and be more open to everything, honestly.
And why would you tell people that they should come here next year?
Because it was a blast, and it was nothing like I've ever experienced. Again, everybody was so happy. It was so free. You know, there wasn't any judgment. It was just the experience was just one of a kind, and I'm definitely coming back next year, and I think everybody else should too, because it was wonderful. There's no words. It was just wonderful.
Well, thanks for talking to me.
Thanks for having me.
And for giving me a ride to the airport and almost at hospital. Jesus. Thank you for giving me a ride
not the hospital.
To
we're going to the airport. Absolutely. Anytime.
Oh, I'll see you next year.
All right. Sounds good.
Hi, Macy. Thanks for talking to me. Please introduce yourself and let people know what brought you to Anahata's Purpose.
Hello, I am Macy of the Witch But Amateur Hour podcast. 50% of it attending Anahata's Purpose. We did our show here for one. That's like the practical reason that we came to do the show, which was really fun.
Yes.
And but also, I don't know. I mean, I really wasn't certain. I really wasn't super certain what to expect out of this. Like, I liked that it was heart focused, which is good because I have like a super closed concrete heart, energy center.
Apparently,
so that was
me too.
Yeah, that was good. So I really wasn't. I knew I wanted to come and I knew I needed to come. But as for the specific reason, I don't know if I had one. Like nothing particular to work through or anything, but like opening the heart, I suppose. And reacquainting myself back with human civilization. That was the main one.
What was your favorite part?
That's difficult. I mean, I feel like this is going to be a pretty common answer, but it really was like I didn't expect the bean community to be the magnitude that it was and literally be a community, like sharing. I mean, one of the first night that we got here, we had no blankets and no bedding, literally nothing. We had nothing. And we wandered up to y'all's little cabin neighborhood and begged for bedding, and we were given bedding. And that's like how it started. That was like the first thing that happened. And it's like, we were able to like split the blankets up between us to make it through the night, and that has just carried throughout the week. And I've just seen everybody, and like we were talking about it, Lera she was like, you could tell the trip moms really came in clutch. There was a handful of people that had everything you could ever need, and they were more than willing to give it. So I think that was my favorite. And the bean fires at night, I had several moments that I was just kind of by the fire and just looking around and looking at people laughing and sharing things and just being like, none of this would have ever happened, And I don't think about the podcast in that way very often. It just kind of, I don't know, it feels very egotistical to be like, yeah, look. But when you see it like that, it was very touching. Like that was. But
you did do it. You and Charlie did do it.
We did, I had that moment of being like, you need to accept that. Like you did this. And it was really, really nice. Like not quite, it wasn't quite able to eke out the tears, but close. Very, very close. It was just a very wonderful moment to see. And the class, I mean, like seriously, there were several classes that I went to the sound healing. And I think that was where I got the most serious, like actual work that came out.
How are you planning on incorporating the stuff that you've learned and taken in here into your practice?
I learned several things, and they're different. One of the things that I really wanted to take away from this, and I don't know why none of the classes specifically said to do so, but I want to try to figure out what is going to be kind of my daily devotional practice in a way, you know, because like while I want it to be runes, it's not. I work with runes and I like to read them, but it's not an everyday thing. But so many people have just like had little decks or little different things like books and prompts, and you can just read something every day and ponder it. Even if it's something as small as that, I want to find my thing that I can tune into every day, even if it's just for 20 minutes. That's something I've fallen out of doing. And I've just looked around and seen people with their tools of kind of like getting, you know, like their little daily things that they use to contemplate spirituality. And I contemplate spirituality all the time, but not in a focused way. And therefore, I don't know if it's productive in that way. If you're just kind of just thinking bullshit, you're not targeting the intention. So I want to do that. And that's something that I really pulled from this. And I also, in the sound bath, which I'm very responsive to sound, and I knew that I would be. It was very intense. It was probably the most intense thing. It was all heart focused. It was a heart focused sound healing, and it was intense. My heart actually for hours, like my chest burned for hours afterwards, because I felt like 2 hooks blow. It was I've never felt that happen before, but 2 of them, and they were tied to memory, and I know what those memories are now. It was very strange. It's like I felt like it was like out of nowhere, those 2 in childhood memories came, and I could tell that that's where the hooks originated from, and they just blew out. It was so unusual. I've never had that happen before. But I have those memories now that I really want to go into and like write about, you know, and the memories I remember, they're not great. I hate them, but now it's like I can step back and look at them as like an observation, but I didn't realize how impactful they were, if that makes sense. But them to come up like that with that feeling of like relief, that chink, you know, just kind of cracking. So things like I've had a lot of memories come up over this, and it's very nostalgic and campy. Okay. And so I have a lot I think the coming days and weeks after this is where a lot of my learning is going to come from. I'm that way though. I'm weird around letting myself do things like that with a lot of people.
Why do you recommend people come here?
A lot of reasons. One, never in my life, I mean, especially living in Texas and growing up in the East Texas, rural Texas, I've never been around so many like-minded people ever in my life. And getting a taste of that and knowing that, I mean, the snippets of conversations you hear as you walk by, they're absolutely bananas. And it's like, oh my God, yes, I believe them. You know, and you hear it and you're just like, that's what's going on around you, you know, is that kind of shit. So one, for that, the community aspect and I know that word gets tossed around, this community, it's like, it's really healthful. I feel better after having it, especially after COVID and being like, it was a wonderful way to acquaint myself back into civilization, doing it in a safe way around people just like me. And now leaving that, I feel like I've kind of re-upped my threshold of human that I can handle. That's just not hunter, you know, at this point, because it's just been me and Hunter in the middle of nowhere for 2 years now, pretty much. And so I feel like I put my feet in and I got to do it with everybody here. So one, I would say that, like, if you don't be afraid to come alone. Mm-hmm. I want to really say there's so many people that have come alone, you included, and have just been completely wrapped right up in it, you know, and anything you needed, you were given. And
another being named Emily, she said she was real nervous because she's very shy. Mm-hmm. And yeah, she said that people should come because of that too.
Yeah. Oh, and I've seen so many of them, I mean, myself included, but like people that when they first arrived, like the first day they were here, like they didn't really talk to anyone. And now it's like they're running around like completely just like and so that alone, I was like, I don't know, I think there's a million reasons to come. You know, like, of course there's like learning in the classes, but just getting to talk to people and especially realizing that the beings are, I don't know, they're just, it's just great. I can't explain it.
We're a family, dude.
I can't explain it. Being around that fire and just jiving with every single one.
Yeah, my heart was full.
It was so good. I mean, group Bohemian Rhapsody. Oh my God. You know, it was just, please come. And I know that there's a million reasons as to why and why you shouldn't, you know, like if you, to yourself, you know, that you can think that you shouldn't, but I think you should. And even for me, it was a challenge. Like it probably took me a full like 24 hours to let go after getting here. Cause I was very much on edge, you know, but then I don't know, I settled into camp. And that's just kind of how it was. Settle into camp. Just do it. You know, you'll make camp friends. Of course you will. You always will. And
you'll find a camp mom. Even
yeah.
if you are the camp
mom. Oh yeah. And honestly, if they're true camp moms, they'll find you. Don't worry. You know. And it was just I really highly recommend it. I really, really do. I knew I was going to enjoy it, but I think I enjoyed it much more than I thought, and I'm much more emotional about leaving than I thought I was going to be.
Me too.
Returning back to reality that's not just like walking around and finding pockets of people to just sit down and talk to, you know, and fires at night. And I don't know. I've said more words, I think, this past week than I've said in months. Yeah.
Well, thanks for talking.
I feel like I talked a lot. I'm very opened up at this point after all of these days. So I feel like I'm just like a torrent of words at this point. I'll have to go home and put my feet in the dirt. Ground back down. It's going to take me a few days, I think, to come back down.
Yeah, I got to hold all the animals.
I know. And we're getting home late, too. Like, by the time we get home, it's probably going to be like 11:30, maybe midnight. And it's going to be hard because I know I'm going to be exhausted. So I'll just have to be like, hi, guys. And I love you. But like tomorrow morning, we're going to chill and we're going to love each other. But like right now, I've got to go to sleep. That makes me sad.
Well, thanks for talking.
Bye. Oh, I like a short, abrupt ending. Yeah. All right. All right. Bye. Bye, boy.
Hi, Deb.
Hi.
Thanks for talking to me.
Absolutely, my pleasure.
Would you please introduce yourself and let people know why you came to Anahata's Purpose?
Yeah, so my name is Debra. I am one of 4 owners of a small business in Alaska called Stag and Moon. We emphasize creating magical community and supplying supplies for the modern witch. So I came to Anahata's Purpose, honestly, for radical grieving. Oh no.
Me too. I've been doing it all day.
Radical grieving and self-acceptance, and I came to cry. So it's just a good continuation. I had a tremendously rough year. My mother was diagnosed with cancer in November, and she passed in April. And I was her hospice nurse, which I'm grateful that I got to spend so much time with her. But it was fast and it was sudden. And I heard about Anahata's through the Witch Bitch Amateur Hour, one of the older episodes. I heard about it in March, and it was really, I was in the thick of it with my mom. Her health was really starting to spiral. She was starting to become like non-responsive. And so I booked it. I booked it that day immediately after I heard it. I was like, I'm going to need this. I'm going to need this. And it has just surpassed my expectations in so many ways.
What has been your favorite part?
Oh my gosh. Honestly, just being surrounded by so many people that are not afraid, or it's not that they're not afraid, it's that they're willing to lean into their discomfort and willing to lean into their vulnerability and open their hearts up. And everyone has just been so amazing. The workshops are amazing. Everyone just holds such beautiful space here. And everything. There's community. There's true, authentic connection. And everyone is just so beautiful and unafraid of leaning into their truest, most authentic self. And it's just inspiring. Life-changing.
Yeah.
It's life-changing.
How are you going to take this experience and incorporate it into your practice?
That's a good question. I am going to embrace
breath and sound and movement, and I'm not going to be afraid to express those parts of myself, and I'm just going to feel. I'm going to take what I've learned at Anahata's, and I'm going to allow my body to take up space, and I'm going to allow myself to be in my body instead of my head, because your head only knows so much, but your heart and your stomach, they know it all. They know everything, and we neglect it. We spend so much time in our head, and I am going to be in my body.
Why should other people come here next year?
Oh my gosh. Why not? That is the most loaded question. Because you will experience yourself. You will experience the power of I. You will have your heart ripped open in the most beautiful way. You will, even if you don't think you can cry, you will cry and you will let go of everything that you've been holding on to. You will have an opportunity to release in ways that we do not get presented with in the day-to-day life, in a space that is safe, in a space that is sacred. You should just come. Just come. You will not be disappointed. It's life-changing.
Thanks for talking to me.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you for talking to me.
I'll see you next year.
Oh, yes, you will. Yes, you will.
Once again, I want to thank everybody for talking to me. Thank you, Allie, Amberleigh, Debra, Emily, Jenny, Jennifer, Kyyles, Lera, Tabitha, Theresa. Thank you, everyone who was at Anahata's Purpose. Thank you, Rachel, for creating Anahata's Purpose and for pulling me there. You really did change my life. Thank you to Charlye Macy for creating this community, or at least being the seed, because you played a huge part in a lot of what I'm doing with my entire life right now. I love you all. I miss you all. And I can't wait to see everybody again next year. Hey, thanks for listening to this episode of Your Average Witch. You can find us all around the internet on Instagram at Your Average Witch Podcast, Twitter at Average Witch Pod, Facebook at facebook.com/Your Average Witch Podcast, at YourAverageWitchPodcast.com, and at your favorite podcast service. Want to help the podcast grow? Leave a review on Apple Podcasts. You just might hear your review read at the end of the next episode. If you'd like to recommend someone for the podcast, like to be on it yourself, or if you'd like to advertise on the podcast, send an email to YourAverageWitchPodcast@gmail.com. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you in the moon changes. You really did change my life. Thank you to Charlye Macy for creating this community, or at least being the seed, because you played a huge part in a lot of what I'm doing with my entire life right now. I love you all. I miss you all. And I can't wait to see everybody again next year. Hey, thanks for listening to this episode of Your Average Witch. You can find us all around the internet on Instagram at Your Average Witch Podcast, Twitter at Average Witch Pod, Facebook at facebook.com/Your Average Witch Podcast, at YourAverageWitchPodcast.com, and at your favorite podcast service. Want to help the podcast grow? Leave a review on Apple Podcasts. You just might hear your review read at the end of the next episode. If you'd like to recommend someone for the podcast, like to be on it yourself, or if you'd like to advertise on the podcast, send an email to YourAverageWitchPodcast@gmail.com. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you in the moon changes.